Hi, my name's Heather Abbott, and joining me today is Barb Satterwhite, one of my good friends and my mentor. Barb is a retired RN, and she has been with Nikken for 24 years. She's also won the prestigious Eagle Award, which you see over her shoulder there, and she is currently Team Kaizen 2020. So, Barb, why don't you take it away?
Thanks, Heather. And I'm actually excited to be invited to share with you something that really is pretty natural for me, and I love it. And so, what I'd love to do is share my PowerPoint. I actually have been embracing Nikken for 24 years. And so, what I'm going to share with you, let me just get this up here. Okay, is it full screen for you?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so what I've entitled this is Insights Mastered and Lessons Learned, because you can imagine in 24 years, I've done a lot of things and not always are they the right things. So some of the things that I've mastered that I want to share with you, and some lessons that I've learned, because this would be helpful if I'd have known more about this when I started. So one of the things, um, so why Nikken? Why did I even get involved 24 years ago, and why now? So I love the history of it because 25 years ago, my husband and I, and that's my husband on the left, and we were skiing in Colorado, and really good friend introduced us to Nikken on the chairlift, talking about the products that helped him. And I basically laughed. I was in full-time nursing and I had never heard of such and couldn't understand why any of that would help what he was claiming. So I didn't do anything. I laughed for a year, and a year later went back. And as I was getting ready to go, I asked him to bring me information. I'd want to read about it, and because I had a friend with a bad back, thought it might help. So anyway, the real fun part with that the first article I read was all about magnetic field of the earth and how you and I, our animals and our plants wouldn't survive without it. And all I remember saying to myself was, this makes sense because I feel better outside and I love being outside. So that's how I got introduced. And anyway, we went over that night to visit him in his room, and his wife got hit by a snowboarder. And he just took the predecessor of this little roller. This is just a little roller. And he rolled this all over her shoulder, and she didn't have any more discomfort. I just looked at him and said, when I get back to Richmond, I'd like to know about this. So we kind of laughed about it, and we skied an extra day, and Don fell, and his knee got swollen, got blown up, and I did all the nurse things, iced it, elevated, flew home, said, wish we had some of those magnets. They come to Richmond and bring us the predecessor of this. This is called a power chip, but the predecessor was just magnetic, and it was the same size, and we put that on either side of Don's very swollen knee under a knee brace, and he went out and did construction work, came home, and I said, let me see your knee. And when I looked, he had zero swelling. And all I said to him was, you don't go out and work on that and it gets smaller. I want these things. So that's what got my attention. And then the next thing I wanted to do once it helped Don was to help my dad. And that's my dad on the right. So these two guys were very important in my life. And because of Nikken, I was able to help them. So that's why. But why am I involved now? 24 years later, I've retired from nursing 22 years ago. Why am I even still involved? Well, I'm actually more passionate now than ever, not only because of the products, but because of our purpose and the fact that we have such a sick society. You and I know we have so many people that are chronically ill. We're all exposed to so many toxicities. There's just such an environmental issue, and Nikken has solutions. And I'm just blown away with the fact that we have got to let everybody know because we can help a lot. So that, and I call my reason for all this is the P factor. It's the products. I'm not going to go into the products because you'll hear about them, but I can tell you one thing. I am so grateful that I know about them, that I have them. If I never helped anybody else, I know I've got wonderful products. So the personal growth, that is an incredibly, I would have never guessed this, but because of the people I've met, the webinars I've been on, the seminars I've been to, the books I've read, it has been such a wonderful growing thing for me. And so personally, I find it very, very exciting to have been introduced to so many things because of Nikken and the phenomenal people. Oh my gosh, people like Heather, all of the colleagues that I have in Nikken. It's a family. Now, you and I have our biological families. I have my family of friends because I'm down here and I don't have family, but I have another whole Nikken family. And that is, without a doubt, if I had nothing else that benefited me, this is one of the biggest benefits. So, and then our purpose, the purpose is humans being more. This is a company with a philosophy of humans being more. And you'll hear more about that. But that's why I love, and I'm really more passionate about Nikken than ever. What I really want to talk to you about is what I consider what we're all about. We're really a shipping business. It's that simple. Your friendshipping, your relationshiping, and your partnershipping. And, if you keep that in mind and you go, and I'm going to give you a few little hints around how I do that and why I do it, this just makes it easy. So friendshipping, what's that all about? Well, that's just being out. That's meeting people. Obviously, today we can't quite be out and meet as many people physically, but you can still connect with them. And the whole idea is that engaging with people, no matter where you are, what you do. And I have encountered so many customers and partners actually just by going about doing the things I want to do and being happy. So I love that whole idea. If you think about it and you're doing something that makes you happy, number one, you're going to be in a good vibration. Therefore, you're going to attract that same vibration. So you're going to have people that'll enter your life that you want to be with. I love this book, The Happiness Advantage by Sean Akers. And it's really kind of neat because in this book, he actually says, there's a couple things that I remember well. And he says, most people think, when I'm successful, I'll be happy. It's wrong. It's the other way around. When you're happy, you're going to be successful. And then the other thing that he says in there is happiness is not just a mood, it's a work ethic. So be happy, be out there, be connecting with people. I love it. It just makes life a little easier. And this is one of the things that happened to me in December. I was out having a happy day because I was buying a new car. And the car salesman, his name is Chin, and turns out, as I'm talking with him, spent a lot of time with him, but got a good deal. And I was having fun. And he was hurting. And so I just loaned him some of my products while we were talking. He was very open. I had built a relationship with him. And turns out that he himself had written a book called The Happy Life or Happy Life. And I love this, the acronym for Happy Life. H is helping ourselves by helping others. A is having the positive attitude, which gives you positive energy, and that creates success and happiness. P is for patience. Oh my goodness, that's never been my strongest suit, but you need to have patience, and it will help you conquer your fears and your obstacles and your challenges. And the other P is passion. If you're passionate about what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And why am I, as a retired nurse of 20 some years, still involved and more passionate than ever? It's because of what we have. So I love doing it. And the why is for yes, we can. You have a dream, you have a plan, anything's possible. So just remember the why. And of course, life. L is for love, that caring and sharing unconditionally. So if you're really caring about the people you encounter or the people you're talking to about Nikken, that you really want to help them, that's going to come through. And that's unconditional love, and you will be successful. I is for the improvement. We need to improve 1% each day. So think about this. You will hear throughout Nikken world the term Kaizen. For instance, Team Kaizen that we just talked about, that I am on Team Kaizen. Well, in Japan, Kaizen is a term that means continuous improvement. And in nursing, we were doing a thing called quality. It was an initiative that came from Japan, and they talked about Kaizen and continuous improving. So if we try and improve every day of our life 1% in something, we're going to be successful. And F is for fairness. You must be fair in life. and then education, sharing your knowledge. And this is what we're all about, quite honestly. This is truly an education piece because there's so many people that are hurting out there. There's so many people that are financially hurting and they just don't know about Nikken. Did I tell you you're supposed to have fun? And I love my little Miss B. She goes everywhere with me, and this is us having fun kayaking. And of course, this is just last month I was in Utah for meetings with Nikken, and this is some of our people in Nikken that I got to ski with and had a wonderful time. So what's the other part of that ship? We had friendshiping. How about relationshiping? This is the most important part because once you friend somebody and you even reconnect. I've reconnected with old high school friends, with old nursing friends, with just friends in general. That reconnection sometimes takes a while to get that relationship back. It depends. But especially if it's a new person and you encounter somebody new. None of these bullet points are in order by any means because I really, really believe the biggest thing here in relationshiping is building trust. So you want to have that relationship where you're constantly engaging with somebody so that they trust you, because once they trust you, they're going to listen to you and they're going to probably be very open to your solutions. And so when you're really, and say you talk with somebody and they come up with something and you determine that there's a solution for them through Nikken, by bringing it up, you want to be very clear about what it is you want to provide them and ask more questions, but be persistent. And by that, I don't mean pushy. What I mean by that is don't give up on people. If somebody isn't engaging because of one conversation, it's okay. In fact, there's just a statistic that I love, and it says in sales of any kind, it will take 5 or 7 to 12 times encounters before somebody will do something. Now, I find that a very refreshing statistic because, excuse me, think about it. If I contact you 1, 2, 3 times and I don't hear anything, I could get discouraged. I could give up. I could say, they're not interested. Don't go there. It doesn't mean anything other than it's not good timing. And remember, it takes 7 to 12 encounters before somebody may do something. I just find that so refreshing. So then you don't worry about the fact that somebody hasn't gotten back or hasn't done something. And quite honestly, we all know how stressful life is. We all know how busy people are. So we need to go with the flow. That is the hardest thing, the patience and the going with the flow, right? So, and that's where all of this comes in because it's all in timing. But if you build that relationship and that trust and you find out what their need is and you offer a solution, be consistent, be persistent, go with the flow, you will be successful. Very important. Did I tell you you're supposed to have fun? This is another thing Dawn and I love to do was our windsurfing. So the third part of that ship is partnershiping. So once you get some groups that want to, or some people that want to join you with the Nikken business, then you create your team. And teams are very, very important. And the communication with that team is important. And in this day and age, it's easy to communicate with our Zooms and our phone calls. Not as easy to get together anymore. But at the same time, if you just there's a couple things I do. I do a weekly call with my team. And then there's a WhatsApp. So if you're not familiar with that, a WhatsApp is a wonderful texting communication tool that you can just communicate every day. And so it's a great way to keep in touch. And we do a lot of supporting of each other in that way because you can't always maybe be with somebody, but you can answer questions, you can get them connected to people. There's just so much you can do and help and have fun with them. Did I tell you you're supposed to have fun? I decided at age 60 that I would skydive, and that was my fun day. So what lessons have I learned? You really, 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 really need to ask for help. Don't do this alone. You do not have to do this alone. In fact, that's the really nice thing about it, is that we have so many wonderful people that will help. And this group is the group that won the trip to Italy last year. And I can guarantee you that anyone in that group will help you. And anybody in Nikken will help you. So don't be do not be shy and have a process. So if you encounter somebody that wants to partner with you, what are you going to do with them and for them? And just have that something that's very simple for you to do. And then I love this last rise against the noise. There was an article in a journal last July, about all the companies out there and what the competition is. It's huge. There's a lot of good companies, but what we really need to think about is how do we rise against the noise? What makes us different? And I can tell you there are two things in Nikken that make us very different from any other company. One is the fact that our purpose is humans being more. It's all about you taking care of yourself and then helping others to do the same thing by sharing and educating and providing the opportunities that we have through products and the business. And so to me, that humans being more and that whole philosophy is, in fact, this company provides a training called Humans Being More. It's not about the products, it's not about the company, it's about you. And there's no other company that insists that you go to something like that so you can get your mind straight. So that's the thing. And of course, the other second big thing that we have is our product line. I mean, to create an active wellness with the wellness home environment that we have is unprecedented, and there's no competition there. So we really do have a lot that you need to be proud of and have the posture of, I think I forgot to mention back in with your relationshiping, have the posture of what we have is not only valuable, it's far superior, and it's going to help them and their lifestyle. So it's truly a wonderful, wonderful place to be. And did I tell you you're supposed to have fun? That is it, and I am so excited that I could share this with you. I sure hope that, I gotta figure out how to stop share here. Okay, so Heather, I am glad you asked me to do this. It was fun. I always enjoy it.
Yeah, that was perfect. Love it, Barb. I love the fact that we've got to make friends and have fun and help the whole world with the wellness home products. So thank you so much for your presentation. That was wonderful and a great way to sum up how we can enjoy what we do and be passionate about
Have fun.
it.